Welcome to Cycling Plus Bike of the Year 2016. Now this year we've been very busy. Well, Warren Rossiter, Senior Tech Editor here, and his team of Matthew Allen and Robin Wilmot, who sadly can't join us today, have been incredibly busy. They've tested 55 bikes. By riding that many bikes, that gives them a really good idea of what's hot, what's not, pretty much the trends in road cycling at the moment and looking forward. So I'm just going to catch up with Warren, find out what's cool, what's not so cool, and what's going to be cool. So one of the things that's sort of interested me most, I think, has certainly probably at the lower price points that we've tested, aluminium is making a bit of a comeback. People think carbon is best, carbon is ubiquitous, I guess, but aluminium's back.
It's something that's kind of been sneaking in there over the last couple of years, but this year, not for probably more than a decade, have we seen so many really, really good aluminium bikes at all price levels, from guys like Rose and moving into specialised with their Smart Wheel tech, Trek ALR and Monda. All fantastic bikes, moving into even like higher grade ones. Canada are so sure about that CAD 12, they offer like a Superbike spec black ink version of it. It comes with things like NB wheels and Giro race.
But aluminium's harsh and it'll beat me up and it's not as light and I want to climb and
these are all sort of misconceptions about the material. It's in my opinion, I don't think aluminium ever really got a fair crack at the whip. People talk about their wonderful qualities of steel, but we had steel bikes for 100 years before alloys and aluminiums came along. And just as aluminium was starting to mature and and we were starting to see flashes of just how good it could be, from the likes of Cannondale, from the likes of Bianchi, carbon came along and just swept it all away. Yeah. So, I don't think aluminium ever got to be developed to the point it should have been. And now it seems that that's happening again.
Has aluminium changed as we talk about grades of carbon, we talk about grades of steel. Aluminium has numbers in front of it and behind it. Is the aluminium better?
No, it's the same. It's the same base materials. It's just it's the way they're being manipulated. It's the way they're being formed.
Is there innovation in that?
There seems to be huge amounts of innovation in that. You need to take a look at what Cannondale have done with CAD 12.
Yeah,
there's some really, really seriously clever stuff going on there.
So last year, I think, was the first year with Bike of the Year that we saw a real surge of road bikes with disc brakes, and we are big fans. We like them. We're the kind of people that probably need disc brakes. Me in particular, not a particularly good descender, get a bit scared when it's wet, all those kind of things. But this year, rim brake bikes have done incredibly well in our overall. Are they making a comeback, or have disc brakes slowed down a bit?
Disc brakes have made huge inroads into the places you exactly expect them to. Cyclocross, the whole kind of gravel thing. It's where they're more defined to be. But I still think that the inevitable progress of technology is going to see disc brakes take over.
Yep.
And you see flashes of just how good disc brakes can be with something like the Zalco Max. That's a full-on pro race bike, not compromised at all by weight or any other penalties by having hydraulic discs. A really good set of rim brakes offers the equal amount of power as a really good set of disc brakes. Disc brakes have the advantage when the weather turns foul, but if you're still a fan of rim brakes, don't worry, they're going to be around for a long time to come. It's that thing at the high end, there's still going to be a need for super low weight bikes, and rim brake bikes still can be made lighter. And so there's still that weight weenie market. I think there's a little bit of fear in ownership of a hydraulic brake bike on maintenance. It's easy to replace a cable.
Yep.
People just don't yet know how to bleed a set of brakes and change the fluid and that sort of thing. Or even though it's a fairly simple operation, it's just a learning curve.
Something we did last year as well, we had quite a few, I like doing this, gravel bikes in Bike of the Year. Where's that scene going? I mean, is it a scene? I mean, over in the UK, we don't have miles and miles of gravel roads, but we as a group, Cycling Plus, we quite like gravel bikes. So it's probably because we break a lot of bikes.
All too often, people can just get obsessed with just road riding. You can get obsessed with Strava, you can get obsessed with PBs and training. It's almost training for training's sake. Whereas what I really like about the whole gravel thing is it's just going out and messing around on bikes. which is why we all started riding bikes when we were kids, and it's being able to get back to that. There are, a few events coming out in the UK, not quite on the scale of what we've got out in the US, but they are happening, and it's quite good to see. But on the whole gravel market, we're almost running the risk of becoming like mountain biking, where you end up with these subdivisions, and every niche has its own niche. So you've got the kind of the bikes that are capable of gravel and good at it, but are good at doing everything else. Like the GT Grade is, a fine example. Cervelo's new C-Series bikes, they can handle gravel, but they're great on the road too. But then at the other end of the spectrum, you're getting bikes like Open's UP, with its super plus-sized road biking. 650B wheels, can take 3.5-inch tyres. Cannondale Slate, a road bike with front suspension, which is a bike I really like.
And tyres, actually, something you've seen this year that's being put in tyres, graphene. A lot of people talking about it. It's not a wonder drug, that's not the word I'm looking for, but what am I talking about when I say graphene in tyres?
There's an additive of graphene, which is this new kind of wonder material. It's perfect structure. It seems to allow it to influence on other materials to make them perform as you'd expect. What we've seen in tyres is that it enables the tyre to deform much more evenly. Like when you're riding in a straight line, the structure of the rubber is at its firmest, so you get really low rolling resistance, you get really good speed. But then as you corner, the way the graphene material affects the rubber is it allows it to spread. So it's almost the harder you corner, the more grip you're going to get.
Right.
It also adds certain bags of elasticity. So on the tubeless tyre, when you get a puncture, the graphene in the material helps seal it much faster. I mean, which brings us on to the whole tubeless thing on the road. This year seems to be the year it's come of age. There are many more good tyres out there than there used to be. Sealants have come a long way. There is a lot wider range of really good quality wheels available.
But does it really make a difference to your riding?
It'll make a difference to the amount of punches you have to stop for.
Right.
Jury's still out on actual pure performance terms, but if you're somebody who's already used to riding tubeless off-road, you're probably already thinking, why on earth aren't we doing it on?
Online retail still seems to be a growing trend. Is it at the detriment of the local bike shop?
It's been an interesting thing because there's the traditional big online guys like Canyon and Rose, but then with Wiggle, Chain Reaction, all coming out with much more expansive brands and ranges, it is going to prove difficult for those brands that support your traditional bike shops. But for this year, I'm glad to say we're seeing some really good competitive fight back from them. If you looked at Trek's ALR at £1,400 with full Ultegra.
That's the Emonda, isn't it?
The Emonda ALR. I mean, that's taking the fight straight to the online guys with a spec that's as good as any of them. And then you see guys like Focus, always been good at that sort of thing. Really good tech innovative brand, packed with value. Cube used to be the kind of enemy of all the other big brands that are available, in your local bike shop. And now they're kind of championing this, taking the fight to those direct marketeers. I think they both have their strengths, both have their weaknesses. Online, you can get stunning value for money. You can get an incredible bike for your money. But the caveat on that is you really need to know what you're buying. Whereas if you go to your local bike dealer, if they're good enough, if they're the standard that they should be, you'll get a really good consultation, you'll get a really good fitting. And you'll walk away with a bike that just fits you better. Is that worth more than some Dura Race trinkets that you might get for a few bucks less, as it were?
There you go, that's our take on the trends in road cycling for 2016. Do you agree with us, or were we talking nonsense? I'm sure you'll let us know in the comments below, but also let us know what you'd like to see in 2017.